Are we rolling or did it already shut off? Holy cow, guys, we are rolling. Welcome back to another video. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. I hope you're all sitting at home right now around a fire, sipping some coffee, maybe a whiskey, and having a great day at home. One thing I always get to do, I feel super lucky about, thanks to you guys watching, liking, subscribing, all that kind of stuff, I get to spend a lot of time alone in strange places. And I'm pretty lucky to do what I do every single day. So huge thank you to you guys for watching this channel, liking, subscribing, commenting, subscribing to WALLEYE now, doing all the things that allow me to do what I do every day. And today, what are we doing? Well, it is the day before Christmas Eve right now. I had one day to kind of get out, catch a few walleyes before family time. So that's what we're doing today. And actually, a little twist on today's video. I built a brand new Eskimo 2800 Escape that I have connected to my snowmobile. I built it in the garage yesterday. And I do a ton of travel on ice. Rarely do I have things where I just go out like half a mile and come back in. I probably put 200-300 miles on the ice every year, pulling a sled around. So we're going to go into all the little tweaks and stuff I do when I build a sled to make sure that it's indestructible when I'm in really rough ice, brutal conditions, and traveling a really long way. So we want to catch some walleyes. We want to build the shack and go into some of that stuff. It's before it's even light out right now. We're on a big piece of structure. We got to drill some holes and find some fish. This is the auger I'm running for this year. It is the Eskimo Pistol Bit 2.0. What's different between the 2.0 and the first version? The blade design. It's not the same shaver blades. They're at much more of an angle now. And what I noticed is that it bites ice much harder, I would say. The other thing you don't get is you don't get that walk. So I mean, it doesn't want to do this when you're starting it. It'll just drill, bite ice super hard, still super fast. We're gonna drill a couple of holes right by the sled here, maybe for a dead stick, jig rod. You guys know the deal here. That is a lot of ice, my friends. I don't know. My light went out. Well, we are going to get the Mega Live 2.0 out soon. It will obviously be light out, and you guys will be able to see what's going on. We're gonna get a couple of rods out, maybe one aggressive bait, one spoon style bait, and hopefully catch a fish today. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Everywhere you go. What is that? Why was it so high in the water column? Because it's probably not a walleye. Oh, because it's not a walleye. Because it's not a walleye. Oh, that's not the way you want to start, is it? It comes in several feet under the ice. Could it be a walleye? Yeah, the second I saw it go, pretty much knew where that was going to be. I didn't even think it was supposed to snow today, and of course it's already coming down like crazy. Getting the day rolling with a pike. Oh. Come on, buddy. On. Is it a walleye that high? I don't think so. Not thinking so. Dang it, dude. We're on a pike hole. We're on a pike hole. Means we gotta move. Not good. Not good at all. It's not what we want. Those are all the 2 marks I've marked so far have been those ones, which means we must move locations. Come on, buddy. Get the spoon out of there. Get the spoon out of there. Here we go. On right there. That's gonna be a walleye, I believe, anyways. Oh yeah, definite walleye here. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Right there, baby. Well, we got out of our pike spot. Look at that. We got a Christmas walleye. Beauties, isn't he? Just gold as can be, my friends. I'm digging it. Move around. I'm on spot number 3 now. Haven't ice fished anywhere near here all year, so we're kind of just making it up as we go. There we go. Back she goes. That's a beauty. I know it's kind of dark when I was setting up, but this rod I got 1/4 ounce ice winder spoon. I'll link it down below. Purple and gold. Didn't have any bait on there at all. Just jingling it in place. That spoon's killer in clear water because it's so visual. I think just it does a lot of that flash and dart and roll all around, and gets noticed from a long ways away. Then the other rod I got a shiver minnow on, and I did have one come through like 3-4 minutes ago and looked at that and did not bite. So maybe we change it out and go double flutter spoons or a dead stick. But until I mark a few more, if they don't bite the spoon, then I'll probably experiment with a dead stick. But for now, we'll stay put. Today, we're building an Eskimo Escape 2800. That is the ice shack, which I run last winter, this winter. I've put probably 400 miles on pulling ice shacks over the last couple of years. And the Escape 2800 is the one I use from Eskimo. It's their biggest one, which I like a shack just as much for a gear hauler as I do for an actual fishing in piece of structure or setup. I do a ton of like run and gun, as you guys know, where I'm hauling around, going here, going over there, going everywhere, and looking for fish. I have a very mobile style of ice fishing. So what I want to do is kind of build a shack with you guys. We'll fast forward over maybe some of the more boring parts and kind of show you guys a few of the tweaks that I've learned to make these things more efficient, maximize them for towing, and just make sure everything works in the most extreme conditions. So let's put together the Escape 2800 together. Now, one of the main things with an ice shack and ice fishing is when you do a ton of running around like miles and miles on rough ice, or even not that far on rough ice, everything in this sled turns into a grenade and begins bouncing off of each other. So we're in the beginning stages here of building the shack. All I've done is put the seats on so far. But what I want to do is account for one thing that's always in here, and that is the ultimate ice shack grenade, which is a 20-pound propane cylinder. Now, this thing will destroy everything in this sled when you go 10 miles very fast behind a snowmobile. So what I like to do is bolt this down, and I'll kind of show you what I like to do. And it starts out with a milk crate, and I'll show you guys kind of how I like to set this up. So basically what I want to do here is mount this towards the back of the shack, towards the flat section. I like to give it just enough room for this seat to be able to also go in here. Now, I like to take my propane tanks and have them on an 8-foot or a 10-foot propane line. That lets me, so I don't have to move the propane tank out of here. I can simply set my shack up, run the hose out to where I want the heater to be, and then run it that way. So what we're gonna do is set this milk crate in here, and then throw your propane tank in there. And then basically you wanna get it as snug as you can to the back like this. Now what I'm gonna do is take a Sharpie and just trace out this line like I've already done here, giving myself the most amount of space possible, like this right here. So I've already traced that out to where that's gonna go. So we can pull the tank out, And a milk crate fits a 20-gallon propane tank perfectly. So the next thing you want to do here is, this is tunneled, right? So you don't want screws sticking through this on the part that's going to be hitting like direct contact with the ice. You want to put it on the high spot where these ridges are. And then we're going to punch some holes and run some bolts through this sucker, lining up our milk crate with that line we traced. So as you're traveling across the lake, obviously this thing's going to stay in there perfectly snug now. Now you might ask, what do you do with the heater? The heater does not go in the shack. Heaters are fragile piles of junk, we'll call it. And they cannot take the pounding that a propane tank can take. Now, if you're only going a quarter mile, that's one thing, to the little crappie hole. But if you're gonna like run a long ways on a snowmobile over rough ice, this is basically how I keep this in place. And then I take the buddy heater and I put it in my box on the snowmobile. They just can't take the pounding in a sled, essentially. Right here. What do we got? What do we got? That was really high sticked. Oh, it is a nice walleye. That fish was so high up in the water column. It's ridiculous. Ridiculous, but fish will do silly things. And they got all this pressure from all the other anglers out here. It's honestly challenging to find a spot to fish this morning with this many people out here. Ice fishing, generally you just look for the biggest crowd and get right in the middle of them, which is exactly what we did. Nice eater walleye right there. We're not having Christmas at our house, but we're traveling to family. But if we were doing Christmas at our house, I might be inclined to keep some of these guys for a Christmas walleye fish fry. It's been quite a amount of time since I've eaten a walleye. I guess that's a lie. I had 2 this ice season when I was out in North Dakota early ice. There we go. Pretty little guys, huh? Well, we've been doing a lot of moving around. I haven't seen like a pile of fish on one spot yet, but all we're doing is, it's all sand. So whenever you're dealing with like just massive sand flats like this, the fish a lot of times won't just like hold on one specific thing unless you can get on like one bigger finger of it or something like that. I'm just kind of running a couple hundred yards down this break line and just checking. And I've marked fish in 2 spots now and caught walleyes in 2 spots. For whatever reason, that first spot I stopped on there was, I don't know, all I caught was those 2 pike right off the bat, and I wasn't really a big fan of that. If you're on a spot for that first 30 minutes of light and you're not marking walleyes, see you later. All right, once you get the shack up, one thing that saves you a lot of hassle is get a bunch of lithium spray on a rag and wipe the bars down where they slide into the base right here. These things, when they get ice in them, they like to get very stuck. And this definitely will help you a lot when it's really cold out, to make sure that these things still collapse very fluidly, even with ice, or, you know, everything's a lot worse when it's cold out, obviously. So I'll go around the whole shack and wipe all these bars down. Make sure they keep being fluid. Come on. On. It's a big perch. Could be a big perch. Oh yeah, look at that jumbo, dude. That's a nice one. Huh? He's a nice long one right there. A little bit of everything today. Pike, perch, walleyes. Not finding a lot of fish in any one spot, But pretty much everywhere we're stopping has some amount of fish. There we go. On. That's feeling walleye. Oh no, I'm so frozen up. I'm so frozen up. Nice walleye. Nice walleye. Oh yeah. It was the one downfall about fishing braid outside when it's cold is the freeze up. I like braid for a lot of things. Honestly, thought I was going somewhere else on this trip where I was going to be fishing a lot deeper. So all I brought was rods with braid on them. But normally if I'm jigging in like 15 feet, 20 feet, I prefer mono or fluoro on a lot of these spoon rods. Obviously it freezes up less. And I feel like it's nice to have it at the hole for fighting fish. But here we go. Beautiful 18-19er. Multi-species day. Pike, perch, and walleyes, my friends. And we have been doing the old run around fishing outside deal. And obviously, it's working out. Now, a few of the things I like to add to the shack once I get it up. One is this netting kit right here. Goes up on the roof and around the ceiling. Throw gloves in there, jackets in there, whatever. So we'll put that up. The other one, Eskimo light kit, super easy to install right here. I'll go ahead and link all this stuff down in the description. And the other thing, I like to install a couple of coat hooks for hanging jackets on, drying stuff out on, whatever it might be. So we'll get that done and then we'll put the most important part of the whole thing on the shack. All right, most important part of this whole thing is your tow bar. Now this is the Eskimo tow bar. It's called the Easy Stow Pivoting Tow Hitch. And this one I had good luck with. A couple key components of this: big, sizable backing plate that goes inside the sled, so it doesn't tear everything apart. There's nothing worse than flying across the lake and turning around and realizing that your sled is no longer attached to your snowmobile or your four-wheeler, and then you have no idea how far back or where it could even be. I've seen people lose shacks like that. It's also just super annoying when it falls off. So I've had good luck with this one. Now, the components with this are pretty good overall. But one thing I will do is I will add Loctite to everything. When you are flying across rough ice, this type of stuff likes to come, it's just very rattly. And so it wants to come undone. It's trying to break itself. So I Loctite everything on this, and it saves a lot of headache for stuff falling apart as you are traveling across the lake. So really the only last piece to the puzzle here is your pin, which connects the shack to your machine. These like to run away from you. These like to get lost. It doesn't really matter what design you have. Here's one that I was running for a while and bent that too. That's a big giant carriage bolt, but this one I've had decent success with. The problem is anytime you have a pin within a pin like this, it likes to eventually somehow come off. So I just tie a little tiny rope to the pin like that, burn the ends off, big loop in the other end. Essentially I'll just attach this to my bumper. So even if, in the event that this pin decides to rattle loose, I'm not gonna lose it and be in the middle of the lake with no pin. It'll still be connected to the machine like so, if it does happen to rattle off. So this will save you a lot of headaches, just something as simple as that. And obviously it'll sit on there with the tow bar, just like that. And you can't lose it. You can't misplace it. You get done at the end of the day, and if you don't hang it back up, it's obviously still right there. I'm giving myself the 10-minute rule today. If I'm fishing on a spot for 10 minutes and I don't mark one, I'm moving spots. And if I do mark one, then I stay for 5 additional minutes unless I mark another one. Those are the rules. So we've been here for 10 minutes, saw one fish, did not catch it, and waited 5 more minutes. We're on to the next spot. This This run and gun style of fishing is one of my absolute favorite ways to fish. You feel like you're actually doing something. So much of ice fishing is like you're just sitting there like waiting for a fish to come in. And I understand if you guys are watching this video, probably like, he's just sitting there catching the fish, right? But I have been moving a ton, and I'm not spending more than like 10-15 minutes in a spot really. And just uploaded a run and gun breakdown how I go about doing this to the Walleye Now app on the lake we're on. So this is something that you guys might be interested in, kind of how my thought process has definitely changed over the years, how I approach this type of fishing. Check it out. It's on the Walleye Now app, available on Google Play and the App Store. Look under ice, that bottom tab there, and then go under situational tips, and you guys will see the thumbnail right there. Breaks down what I do with my electronics, what I do with my mapping, to kind of try to get around walleyes very fast when I'm doing a lot of this very mobile fishing. Come on, right there. Of course, right when you're checking the phone, should be a walleye here. Oh yeah, real nice fish. Oh, baby. Well, it's kind of been a strange day. We've moved a million times, and I have not caught any numbers of fish in any spot. So I couldn't tell you if I should be sitting still today or moving around. But we've probably hit, I don't know, I've caught probably more walleyes this size than are going to go in the video. But the interesting thing is to note is that there hasn't been any amount on any one spot. It's either just one single roamer comes through, you catch it, maybe one or two every 15 minutes. Hasn't been any spot that I've hit where it's just been like, you know, you're marking multiple fish. You're like, okay, clearly I'm in a school of walleyes right here. But hey, we're getting it done. That is for sure. The only species we're missing that swims out here would be like an eel pout, which would be cool to get, but we're having a good time with the walleyes, pike, perch. I have caught some other jumbos too. See you later, dude. And this has definitely been my best bait of the day, the ice winder. I'll link it down below. The only thing I do, upsize treble hook, put that little blade on there, which I put on pretty much all my spoons, and rip it and pop it around. Half the time I got a minnow head on there, half the time I don't, because it falls off. And I'm too lazy to put another one on. And that is pretty much the deal. That one came in. When I mark walleyes, though, I'm pretty much getting to bite outside of like a couple today that just haven't bit. The problem's just been getting around a whole bunch of them to catch. All right, well, there was our quick half-day outing. I was gonna stay and fish all day, but I was like, you know what? Gotta drive tonight. Should get back, see the Shelbster and the pups for a little Christmas celebration. So hopefully you guys are having a good day. Enjoy Christmas. Hopefully, I realized that the only part we didn't film of the ice shack assembly was the putting the high factor or the runner kit on. So definitely necessary to put that on. The Eskimo sled, tough as nails. I take that thing fast, a long distance through a lot of rough ice. So it definitely holds up to it. But hopefully you guys enjoyed watching this video today. Didn't really land on a giant school. Caught a fish here or there, most places I went. So hopefully you guys enjoyed watching a few of those. So thanks for sticking around. Thanks for liking, subscribing, commenting, allowing me to do my job every day. Greatly appreciate it. Have a great holidays, and we'll see you guys later.